My dear brothers and sisters in the risen Lord, ordinary season, 28th week, day Thursday. A bad man is worse when he pretends to be a saint, said by Francis Bacon. One night a fisherman stole into the estate of a rich man and cast his net into a lake full of fish. The owner heard him and set his guards upon him. When he saw the crowd searching for him everywhere with lighted torches, the fisherman hastily smeared his body with ashes and sat under a tree like an ascetic. The owner and his guards could find no poacher, though they searched for a long time. All they found was a holy man covered with ashes, sitting under a tree, absorbed in meditation. The next day, word spread everywhere that a great sage had taken up residence in the estate of the rich man. People gathered with flowers and fruits and food and even a lot of money to pay obeisance to him, for it is piously believed that gifts which he made when made to a holy man bring God's blessing upon the giver. The fisherman turned sage was astounded at his good fortune. It is easier to make a living on the faith of these people than by the toil of my hands, he said to himself. So he continued to meditate and never went back to work again. In today's gospel, Jesus further pronounced his oaths against the lawyers for all their misdeeds. Let's note. 1. The lawyers pretended to honor their prophets. Jesus vehemently condemned the lawyers for their hypocrisy. They pretended to venerate the prophets whom their fathers had killed, and even undertook the responsibilities of building and maintaining their tombs. They erected monuments for the dead prophets and possibly even wrote grand epitaphs on those monuments. But they were hypocrites because they honored and admired the dead prophets, but dishonored and persecuted the living ones, including Christ. They were no different from their murderous fathers, for they killed the prophets, and these, their descendants, were killing those who came in the spirit and power of the prophets. The lawyers were wicked ones like their fathers. They killed the prophets, and these liars, their children, build tombs to make sure that those prophets did not come back to life, and that none came to the power and spirit of those prophets. Jesus also warned those liars that from them an account would be demanded by God for all the blood shed from the time of Abel to that of prophet Zechariah. This generation shall be held responsible for all the blood of the prophets and the apostles. The destruction of Jerusalem and the Jewish nation by the Romans in 70 AD may be considered as the coming of God's vengeance upon that persecuting nation. 2. The lawyers opposed the gospel message. It was their duty to faithfully explain the Old Testament to the people and the sign of the coming of the Messiah. They should have prepared the people for the arrival of the Messiah. Instead of facilitating, they were obstructing and persecuting the Messiah and were even spreading all kinds of slanderous rumors against him. Those who came to believe in him, they abused and threatened them with excommunication. They neither believed in him nor did they allow the people to believe in him.